What's up, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I'm going to talk about some key levels to watch for as time goes on, and what's happening with some news involving Tesla. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. So as far as Tesla's going, I just want to mention that there were some negative headlines coming out about Tesla's sales. In the European area, we actually saw their sales decline quite a bit in the month of July, especially in Scandinavia, and that's not the best of news for Tesla. Despite that, I just want to mention that Tesla is still trying to hold this support, and the question is, will we hold support or end up losing it? That's going to determine where we end up going. Now, we had some manufacturing numbers come out. Everything was very close to expectations when it comes to our ISM data. This is reported based off what we end up seeing in the sector, and what greatly affects us is the employment data. I think this is the most important sector. This was close to expectations, but like I've said before, once again, this did help the market bounce to a small extent, but it wasn't really enough to last for a long time. The market temporarily bounced only to get a big rejection, and for now, we're still looking weak. So Tesla pushed to about 333, but instead of holding above that, we saw Tesla reject. So what we're basically doing is riding this trend line. So see this white trend line right here. We're bouncing, 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 and bouncing off this trend line. If we fail here, this could easily start dipping to 325 again. But if we hold this trend line, Tesla could try to get back up to the 330s. So we're barely holding this trend line right here. When you zoom in, you guys could quite clearly see how this is acting as our support. But if it doesn't hold, I could see a dip to like 325. So you guys can see Tesla still showing some weakness. We were trying to bounce and break out, and so far we're rejecting. So there's a good chance that Tesla consolidates and eventually starts to dip for like 325 or below. So be very, very careful. And there is that risk of downside looking at the current trend. Now, as far as SPY goes, this is also looking weak in my opinion. So SPY was trying to bounce, and we weren't able to hold above our key supports. I think my support got deleted at this level right here at 636. If we can't hold this, I could see us test 635, then 633 is next for SPY. If we reclaim 638, we could try to go for 640. But for the time being, we're showing some weakness, right? We just keep rejecting. We rejected from the highs we saw on Friday, came all the way down. Then we bounced and made another lower high, and we're just rejecting. So this is a sign SPY may continue to decline. If you look at the last couple of days, we're now starting a bit of a downtrend, and we're still showing some weakness. So we'll see if 636 holds. If it doesn't hold, we could be looking for further declines. Watch that support, but for now, we do look a bit more bearish. On the triple Q, it's the same thing. We keep on rejecting. So as SPY and the QQQ are rejecting and rejecting, this is also dragging Tesla down. We have support at 560 on the QQQ. If it doesn't hold, we're looking for 558. That's going to be my next target if that fails us. So watch those levels very, very closely. If we get back above 564, this could try to bounce higher. But as of right now, we're rejecting off our 20 EMA right over here. So we're still favoring the low of the day again on the QQQ. The IW Russell 2000 is rejecting as well, unless we get back above 233. We're favoring 231 or below. On ES, we're rejecting or making lower highs. Unless we get back above 6,400, we're going to be favoring 63.75 or below. So we're still favoring downside. So for now, there is downside risk. NQ is rejecting. We were supposed to hold above 23,300. Instead, we're failing so far. So we could be tipping back down to 23,000 flat or below. So there is some downside risk. Bitcoin's rejecting as well. We're going to see if we hold above 111,500. If we don't hold above this, I could see us retest 110,600 right here. So be careful on Bitcoin. There could be some temporary downside. As for Tesla, we're watching this trend line, which is currently at 328. If it doesn't hold, we could be dipping even lower to 325. So be careful on Tesla. On NQ and Nvda, we have a very, very similar setup. Notice we pumped and rejected off our 20 EMA. So in this case, we're seeing a bit of a downtrend on Nvidia. I want to see if Nvidia could basically hold above 170 again. If we don't, we're going to be at risk of dipping to like 165. So if you zoom out and go to the 4-hour time frame, there is a risk of this dipping down to these lows right here in this 165 to 166 area. So I see a double top rejection, and there is some downside risk. We need to reclaim 170 to bounce. If we don't, there is a risk of more downside. On Aapl, unless we get back above 229, we're going to be favoring a move down towards 225. So this is still favoring downside, not doing the best of jobs at holding up. Netflix is in the middle. We have a head and shoulders like pattern, but we're still consolidating around 1200. So if we lose that, this will be tipping a lot more. Otherwise, we're just trading sideways. Um, for AMD, we dipped down to about 157. The buyer's trying to defend it right here, so that's a good sign. It actually touched our targets, but now we have resistance at 162 and support at 157. That's our range. If we lose 157, I do expect further declines. Otherwise, we're just kind of shuffling right now in a range for the time being, but there is some downside risk if 157 fails us. Coinbase has resistance at 307 and 311, and our support's all the way down here at 300. We're still range bound on this, but we're technically making lower highs. So if this does make another lower high, this could reject and dip again. Amazon has support at 222. If that doesn't hold, we could be dipping to about 220. Meta is barely holding on to 725. If it doesn't hold, we could be dipping to 718. Google could be retesting 206 in the low 200s. And then Microsoft could be dipping all the way down towards um, 495. I think this is showing some weakness unless we hold above 500. We're still favoring downside. The VIX is holding up well. It's still looking bullish. I do think we're going to be going for this gap fill to like 20.2 soon. As long as we hold above 18, this is favoring upside. And once again, the market's now favoring downside. So unless SPY cannot reclaim 636, we're going to be favoring 633, and we'll see if we hold. Anyways, that's it for this one. This is your quick update. And then finally, to conclude with Tesla, with the market dumping, Tesla's going to likely retest 325. We're going to see if it holds. If it doesn't, we could be declining all the way down to like the low 320s. So be careful on Tesla. The downside risk is there as we're barely holding support. So we'll see how well Tesla holds up. Anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you for listening and peace out.